Good morning. My name is Danny Hudson. I'm the president of Interchange. We manufacture a machine which reduces the fuel costs for shipping companies, reduce their emissions and their environmental waste. The average ship will burn about 37,000 gallons of fuel per day at a cost of about $90,000. Now, 1% of that is 900, but we project 4 to 6% savings. Our market targets are cruise and passenger ships, which there's 6,590, container ships and dry cargo, 29,700, tankers are 13,170, for that, let's say 50,000 ships. And for the land-based boilers, there are thousands of them. And they use a fuel, an IFO 380 Centistokes, which has a 1 to 1.5% sulfur, sludge rather, that cannot be used. This sludge is pumped to shore as an environmental waste. We plan to introduce our unique fuel conditioning system which significantly reduces operating costs to the maritime community in 2012. We homogenize the fuel, reducing the 1 to 1.5% sludge in usable fuel. Our patented machine injects a small amount of water, which causes the fuel to burn better. The micro explosions of water droplets at combustion shatters the oil droplet to a larger area, increasing the probability of oil and oxygen molecules colliding, creating a more complete combustion. The more complete combustion increases efficiency 4 to 6%. The maritime industry spends more than $4,100,000 per year on fuel. That would be a savings of $200,500,000 on the bottom line. The cost to build a system is $250,000. We plan to build 4 systems, install 1 each on different vessels. This is a proven system. We have more than 30 successful installations, with 20 of them on board ship. I invented, patented, and developed the fuel conditioning system. I'm an engineer. I worked at General Electric Company for 10 years, building nuclear subs, aircraft carriers, until I started my ship repair business in 1967. I have been in the oil engineering department all of my life. This is a huge reduction in savings of like $250,000. The ROI is less than 6 months. The skid-mounted system is easily inserted into the fuel system. We condition the fuel before the service tank. Therefore, we cannot interrupt the flow of oil to the engines or generators. The operators do not have to switch from high sulfur fuel to 1% sulfur fuel, entry port, or plug into shore power when they're at the dock. Low sulfur fuel is also detrimental to their engines. But we are seeking $2 million to expand our business into the maritime community. The cost to build a system is $250,000. That will consume half of it. The other half will be used for advertising, installation, recording past and present operating data, correlate, record fuel usage, emissions, and reporting. This can help us to reduce our dependency on foreign oil. And we can create 6 jobs immediately and more than 200 high-tech jobs in 5 years. Thank you.
Then I got a couple of questions. You said that the per vessel unit costs $250,000 to manufacture.
To manufacture.
So then what is the sales point to the vessel?
Should be,
What is the sales point? What will you sell the device for?
well, this is including the installation on board ship.
No, so I'm saying, if I'm purchasing one for my vessel, I have a fleet. So let's say, what am I being charged for the unit?
You're being charged the unit for about a 25-cent markup, about 25% return.
I'm still confused. So the cost of the unit to you is $250
$250,000 to make it.
to make it, but then you gotta install it on my ship,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some cost there.
Yeah, to install it on your ship would be about $40,000.
Okay, and then you're gonna mark it up, so we're talking about $350 is what I'm gonna pay?
You're talking about, well, 300, 325.
Okay, so let's say 325. Now, when do my ROI on the unit is 6 months?
Less than 6 months.
So I'm gonna have paid off the 325 within 6 months on fuel efficiency savings.
That's correct.
Okay. My first thing is I couldn't follow a lot of that, so I would have led with that data. So how long does the machine itself last? Is this a 5-year piece of equipment or
25, 30 years.
Okay. And what is the service model?
Service is very, very minimal. We're using an IMO 3-screw pump. The controls are electronic, which they last forever as long as under dry humidity.
Okay, so now I'm going to jump to distribution, which is when you have this unit, and it sounds like now you're going to do retrofit, right? You're going to go into existing vessels and put this unit on. That seems to be your current market focus, right?
Yes.
Okay, but there's an opportunity to do it on new vessels?
On new vessels as well.
Okay,
You don't have to retrofit there. See, once we gain a reputation in the maritime community, they will include this in the building specs, and it will not be a retrofit.
okay. And so is it protected by patent? What do you?
It is patented, yes.
Okay.
It is patented.
And competitors, anybody else in the space?
Well, the only competitors are, you might say, water bees. They run the water and oil through a gearbox to emulsify it. They use a surfactant to keep the water droplets in suspension, which is detrimental to the explosion of the water droplet because it reduces the surface tension of the water droplet to the point that it only evaporates, it doesn't explode. So actually there are no competition to this patent. We have the only patent on the inline cavitational process of mixing the water and the fuel together. And once it is mixed, the water drops will not agglomerate or separate. It's there. And the only way to get it out is burn it out.
So I'd like to ask a question coming from the potential client's perspective. So I'm a ship owner. I get approached by one of your competitors to sell their product and yours. I understand yours. Tell me about why theirs isn't as good as yours. And don't go into the mumbo.
Why theirs is because
is my fuel efficiency as good?
they're not producing what they're selling. They're not producing the efficiency that they're promising.
So
But they're basically large companies, and the ship owners will believe a large company versus a little guy.
Let me ask again. So $350,000, it's going to last me 20 years. My ROI is ridiculous because I pay it off in 6 months. So I'm going to love you. Tell me about your competitors. And I don't want to talk about big companies. I just want to understand, what does their process provide me as the ship owner? I understand what your process does. What does their process do?
Their process, they only mix the water with
I
oil.
understand that. What does it give me? Does it give me better performance? Does it get rid of the sludge? Does it help me with the environmental issues?
No,
It doesn't do any of that. How much does theirs cost?
I don't know.
That's probably a good thing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Ship owners you talk to, which operates one, they close to the best. They paid for it, all they say is, we didn't see any results, which more or less closes the door on me. So I have to put I figured 4 of them out there and prove them. It's a proven system already, but I gotta get back into the maritime community and prove it to them. I invented the system in the early 80s. And I was in the marine repair business. I didn't have to sell them, my reputation sold. I just told the people they were available. When I sold 17 to 18 months, and then all the American ship owners stopped building steamships, they went to diesel ships. And my market went overnight. So I put it on the shelf until in the late 90s. When I got out of the marine repair business, brought landside, but now I'm competing with natural gas prices, and natural gas prices winning.
Have you considered a financing strategy that would allow your end user to finance the CapEx on the front end through their fuel savings so that they don't have such a major outlay at the beginning of the process?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Have you considered a financing strategy, lining up somebody like BB&T or some other provider of financing services that would allow the end user to finance the acquisition of your device as they save on fuel so that they don't have to lay out hundreds of thousands of dollars in CapEx at the beginning of the process?
Well, I had one company, land base, which was Wellman Inc. in Darlington, South Carolina, asked about leasing or to pay back part of the savings rather than pay for the system up front. But when they found out that they were going to pay more down the road, they said, we'll buy the system and it's ours.